Fittonia is one of the easiest terrarium and houseplants to grow, but seldom does it flower indoors, and many people don't even know that it can. About 18 months ago, I built my 10-gallon skull garden for my jumping spider, Jack. Since its creation, this terrarium has changed a lot and continues to evolve. The creeping fig completely took over and even damaged some of the skulls. The coyote skull dripped fat all over the moss. Mushrooms flourished, and now, for the first time, it is flowering. The Fittonia has been flowering for about a month and a half now, and although there are a few factors that played into it, the main one is, of course, time. At 18 months old, this terrarium is very well established, but even then, some Fittonia never flowers inside, despite being kept alive for years. Other factors that play a role in this are the lighting and humidity. Although sold as low light indoor plants, most houseplants do not experience the extremely high humidity Fittonia needs to flower, and even most terrariums don't receive the adequate humidity and light for floral growth. In fact, it is so ludicrously humid in this build that the glass pretty much perpetually has some level of condensation on it. I have varied how humid I've kept it to balance visibility and plant health, but ultimately I've decided on around 85 to 90%. The soil is another potential factor. Like many people, I make my own terrarium substrate, and from what I can tell, I do use a more nutrient-rich recipe than most others. Additionally, I switched to some extremely strong lighting a while back. I was previously using two 1500 lumen daylight bulbs, and I have switched to a 4000 lumen more white light bulb. Based on the spectrum analysis, I anticipate this might actually have some wasted luminosity. However, I cannot deny the results. It's not some special grow light, it's just a generic LED strip from Home Depot. I found this particularly interesting since most people don't even realize Fittonia can get the appropriate requirements to flower indoors. Even so, when it does, most people just pinch off the flowers so that the nutrients are being used for the dense foliage growth that Fittonia is generally kept for, not its flowers. Many people also find them underwhelming and not worth it, but I am rather laissez-faire with my builds. The main reason for the increased humidity and lighting had actually very little to do with the Fittonia initially, as I've been trying to get the moss to grow up and onto the skulls with limited success. When it comes to long-term terrariums, we often find they become miniature ecosystems with their own balance and life cycles rather than the manicured decorations we create on inception and when we trim. I seldom add water, basically don't fertilize, and if anything do a lot less maintenance on this build than I should. However, as we can see with these flowers, when we step back and let nature work its magic, amazing things can happen. If you'd like to see how I built this terrarium, I have left a link in the end screen.